guys, it's Sophia.
And it's Juliet.
And welcome back to our True Crime Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the Amy Lynn Bradley case. So this case involved a mysterious disappearance of 23-year-old Amy Lynn Bradley, who was on a cruise in the Caribbean when one night she just disappeared.
Yeah. So basically, what I remember from this topic is that Amy had been on the cruise and then she left in the middle of the night because I think earlier in that day or that night she had met this guy at a bar or something like that somewhere on the cruise, and then she probably went up to meet with him. Nothing's sure because she's still obviously not found, nothing's really solved yet, but she went off with this guy and he was supposedly a very charming guy, and the theory is that she got kidnapped by him and she's currently being trafficked because they think that she's still alive. There's evidence that she's still alive. So.
Yeah, and it's there's so many theories revolving around this case, but most police officers and people who investigated the case think that maybe she was nauseous. She just went outside of the cruise to get some air and then fell overboard. Because her body has not been found. There's no information really on her.
There have been multiple sightings, I think, because her parents are still trying to find her, to this day. And they've gone on a bunch of shows and everything trying to bring awareness about her. And there have been multiple people that have called in to say that I have seen this girl because she has a very specific tattoo of, I don't remember what the tattoo is of, but she has a very specific tattoo. And they claim that they have seen her with that exact tattoo. For example, there was this one time this guy was on the beach and there was this girl who had the tattoo that Amy has, and they were talking and she seemed kind of distant, and then there were these two guys that came up to her and pulled her away, and they seemed very threatening. They just stood there and they just stared at him and they were threatening him.
So for everyone listening, here are the facts. So she went missing on the early morning of March 24th, 1998. And this happened on the international waters between Aruba and Curacao on the Rhapsody of Sea cruise ship. And the circumstances were she vanished from her family's cabin and her belongings were left, but her keycard and cigarettes were missing, and the balcony door was ajar. Very much a possibility that she did fall over the cruise.
I honestly don't think she fell over because there's so much evidence to prove that she's being trafficked right now, and she's probably at this point just accepted her fate that she's kind of being trafficked and stuff like that, because there's even another example of this lady who supposedly saw her. So she was in the bathroom, and then Amy, who she thinks was Amy again, she had the tattoo, she looked exactly like Amy. She came into the bathroom and she was crying and she was very distraught, and then the lady came out of the stall and was like, "Are you okay? I can help you. Are you in danger?" And then she was very "Get away from me. I don't want to talk to you," probably because she was afraid of getting help. And then the two guys barged into the lady's bathroom and then took her away. And then there's also evidence, I'm pretty sure. So there's this one website that's dedicated to awareness of Amy, and on the website there's pictures of her and her family, and every Christmas they found ways to track what devices go onto what website, and every single Christmas and every single holiday there's this they can track how somebody is going onto the site, the same person from the same location in a different country from the countries where they think Amy is, but they can't go find her because it's a different country and they have different laws. But every single holiday she goes on and she looks and she stays there for a really long time, and she just the person is just sitting there and staring at the pictures. So they think it's her, they think it's Amy, and they think every holiday she just reminisces about when she used to have her family and everything like that.
So I don't know a lot about the topic of human trafficking, but this took place in 1998. Do you think there'd still be a possibility that she's alive and being human trafficked?
Yes.
Or is it it happens for a short amount of time and then the person is just let off into the wild?
I think she's still being trafficked, honestly. Or at least she's just kind of living a really bad life. Like maybe she escaped, or maybe she got released, and she just like isn't ready to go back to her normal life because like of all the trauma that she's been through, and she kind of just chooses to live the life that she has. And then also I'm telling you, there's so many sightings of her. Like there's this other guy who is like in those houses that, you know, prostitutes are sold.
Yeah.
And supposedly he saw Amy, and she asked, this was in the beginning stages of when she was getting trafficked, like it wasn't very recent, so she was still trying to escape, and she asked him for money and was like, I'm not willing to do this, like I'm doing this against my will. Can you, like, if you just give me a little bit of money, I can escape, because apparently she has to earn money, and she can pay to like be released. So she was like, if you give me this much money, you can save me. And then he didn't give her money. But then later on, because he didn't believe her, but later on, like, he found out that was Amy.
But the thing is, though, like, when a story, true crime, or like police related becomes public, people will jump to like get their time of fame and like be a celebrity, you could say. Like if someone goes missing, obviously people are going to be like, yeah, I saw her. So how do we know what's true and what's fiction and just someone who's trying to like get fame?
I know, I watched documentaries, so I know a lot about this. So apparently the guy who they suspect had kidnapped her, he has a daughter, and he supposedly is away from home a lot. And you know how on cruises they take pictures of you, and then you can go to like the office or whatever, and you can buy the pictures of yourself? Yeah. So when the family of Amy realized that she was missing, they went to the cruise, and they're like, do you have any pictures or anything like that? And they tried to look at pictures of her, and they were all gone. Every single picture of her was gone. Then it became discovered that when the guy who is suspected to have kidnapped her, I forgot his name, but his daughter came out and said that I was very little when this happened, but when he came home after that cruise, I remember in his suitcase was all of like every picture of Amy. Like every single picture of Amy was in that suitcase. So I honestly think, because Amy wasn't that like large or anything, so I feel like he definitely kidnapped her, maybe stuffed her in a suitcase or something, took all her pictures. I don't know why.
Who's this again?
The man, I don't know his name. You can look up who is supposedly who's a suspect, but he's the main suspect.
He was just like a random guy they found with all his
I
stuff.
think they didn't find him. His daughter came out and was like, I think that my dad did this. I think my dad kidnapped him or her. And yeah, I feel like the guy that kidnapped her, I feel like he does this a lot. I feel like he does this as a profession or something. Like his job is to basically kidnap people and sell them. I don't think he still like owns her or something like that. I feel like he's just sold her. In the system. Yeah, I feel like he sold her. And honestly, I'm telling you, there's so much evidence. They know what country she's in. But they can't, like, the authorities can't go and find her because they're residing right now where they have like found out. They're all non-extradition countries, so the authorities can't go out and like find this man or find her and like get her back because of like the laws in that country. But honestly, the parents, they have done a lot. Okay, they've gone onto shows and tried to bring awareness. But if I was her parent, I would absolutely be going myself. Like, I do not care if it's illegal. That is my child, and I do not want her to suffer. I would go find the man who did that, first of all, and then I would go find her. And I know that my, like, family would do the exact same thing for me. So, obviously, I feel horrible for the family, but if I were them, I would be doing, like, I would take it into my own hands if the authorities aren't doing anything, because it's been so many years.
I know. It's been early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like
it's one thing if there's a lot of evidence to support that she's dead, but there's another thing if there's so much evidence to support that she's still alive, because that means that she's suffering. Yeah.
So these are all the theories and evidence for everyone listening, so that they can think like what they agree with the most or what resonates the most with you. So there's my theory about the accidental fall /suicide. This was what authorities initially had suggested, that she had fallen or jumped overboard, and her body would have been lost in the sea, never found, and nobody would have even been able to find her.
This is also your warning to be careful.
Yes, be very careful if you're going on a cruise in the summer or spring.
Because these are supposedly safe places, but obviously you can never be safe.
And then there's the second theory, which Juliet thinks is what happened, about the human trafficking and how she was taken, kidnapped, that theory, which has been suggested by a lot of evidence that was found.
Okay. If you want to learn more, go to the documentary Amy Bradley's Missing on Netflix. It gives you a lot of information.
Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.